Now, as I had kind of expected and feared, honestly, Zeppelins are pretty frigging expensive ways of transport. Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to another episode on Rise of Industry with me, Spacefish, and welcome back to another episode of strolling around our beautiful back garden here with 15 bajillion factories, a huge ton of industries that we are already dabbling in these days, and, well, a company that is, despite everything, worth less than even its closest competitor. Doesn't make too much sense to me, but that is the current status quo. And in the last episode, we were kind of honestly considering to just start buying up some of the of our competitors' stocks in order to, take them over. And that was a very, very interesting one. And I did promise in between episodes go and look at just the way that stock values would develop if we would start just randomly buying up stocks. And so I did. And it does turn out that if you start buying stocks, as would be expected, the overall stock value of these companies does go up further. So can't just go and buy everything for 4.18 mil in one go, which would have been the dream, because in that case, we may have just taken a dive and, gotten a bunch of loans and just instantly boosted ourselves up to go and take advantage of this stuff and instantly buy up a company, which I've heard is actually a great thing, because everything that company basically researches, you instantly also gain access to, which I think is quite interesting indeed. But as it stands, that is not going to be an option for us. So the way that we are going to be going for today is we're going to go and get all that heavy pulp that we set up in the last bit, kind of just flowing, making some money off it by sending it to WebArms. We are going to make sure everything's going fine there. We're also going to go and deliver on all those outstanding contracts that we still have. And then we are going to, first things first, go and make some money. We're going to probably hope for another one of these fancy PR events to come around the corner where we're saving obscene amounts of money and just our production set up. And we are then probably going to spend money on Panowitz unless we just make so much money within such short of an amount of time that we can actually consider buying Waterworth despite the rise in stocks when we start buying it. So that is the plan there for today. But just quickly, before we get going on that, if you're new around here, if you do happen to enjoy this very episode, please make sure to smash that subscribe button right down below. It would mean the absolute world to me. We're currently very well headed for 1,000 subscribers. Every single person does truly help out a ton. And, well, thank you so much if you did that. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So the other thing that I've actually found out, by the way, in terms of their stocks, is that if and when they do rise over time in terms of value, you can technically actually also sell them to the AI again and just make money off it as if you were investing in another company. So that could also be something quite interesting to consider for us there. Just saying, as maybe a little something for the future. But just generally regarding this one then, the paper mills are very well rolling, I would say. We do have a good bunch of wood, and most of these, the only current concern being, except from the gameplay alert, which means that we've successfully delivered the milk, so let's double check that we've actually also still got the original route going, which should be the case. Yes, we did not delete that, so that is still also going out. That means that we've got some extra money from that, which is beautiful. 4.5 mil. Honestly, we're making the money quite quickly, I do have to say. And the stock value of Waterworth, interestingly enough, just fell by $1 million. So I guess that's an option too. Not really sure what triggered that, but I'm not going to be complaining whatsoever here. We are definitely getting some nice cash flows in. And what is this? Wait. Let's close that one up. Let them eat cake. Recent trends are showing that cake is taking the dessert scene by storm. Moreover, pie, time for some cake. Chocolate cake demand, berry pie. I don't even think that's like an option for us to sell to anything yet, is it? It's very interesting indeed, honestly. Another thing that I would actually really like to monitor here. The heck? Why are there fireworks? I want to know. And where are the fireworks at? Hello? What happened? There was fireworks. Was it because we have 5 mil in the bank, or... What in the world just happened? I'm so confused. I've got no clue what just happened. Panowitz didn't just level up by itself, did it? Nope. So... why exactly did we have fireworks going on? Does anyone know? I certainly don't. Utterly confused about that one. If you know, please let me know down below in the comments, because I absolutely missed it. I would not be able to tell you. Maybe it is that we sold products for more than 2 million? I've got no clue. It must have been some achievement or something, but I didn't see anything pop up from the Steam end of things, so... very, very, very weird indeed. That said, how are we doing on our loans, by the way? We are currently... well, we're paying off the settlement loan, which is slowly but surely going. You know, nothing special right there. Quite fine by me overall. And the starter loan is still slowly but surely going. So, I mean, this one here would be the interesting one, I would say, to pay off, because that's the one with the high interest rates, after all. The other one has got a 0 interest rate, as far as I remember, so we kind of just want to stretch that one out as long as possible. The cake thing really not impacting us. The question being, for us... do we want to develop something now, or do we just kind of want to use the money that we're making currently in order to just try and capitalize on things and, you know, buy something up with it? I'm not entirely sure. Looking at the construction goods also maybe for a second, that's something that I really want to check out. Six units stored by the AI. What do you mean? Oh my god, they're doing the same thing. No, they're not. What do you mean 6 units stored by the AI, or is it just by me? There's nobody else delivering to that, is there? I'm very confused by that. There's nobody else in my business field. Why does it tell me that there's 6 units stored by the AI? 0 units stored by the player? Does that make any sense to you guys? 5 units stored by the player here, but where do the freaking paper rolls come from? Like, this here is what the paper mills look like, right? Do you lot see a single paper mill here anywhere? I don't, certainly. So, well, what is that? There's none down there. And there doesn't seem to be any out here. So what? Is it just earning my competition money that I'm selling this stuff now? I really hope not. I mean, there's water wells and everything, but there is not a single AI paper mill. Really not sure what that's supposed to be be honest. But overall, looking at the amount stored and I just kind of want to look over these things because we're basically at the end of a 15-day period, just to make sure that we're not crazily oversupplying anything here. Really weird, this AI remark, though. 4 per 15 days, 4 stored. Quite low. Quite low, the demand for dolls, I have to say. It's a lot of extra stuffing stored. So supplying more than that can really take there. Maybe we need some other output to be found there. Otherwise, that looks quite good. And the farmer's market really just being our side produce here. Also looking quite good. The thing is, I don't think there's really any other toy stores in the region still, so unless I see any here, there's no real way to deal with the stuffing currently. Okay, fair. So the question now being, we've got 5 mil. Up from like 3 start of the episode, which is quite the quick gain of money, I have to say. The loans are really not eating into our profits. I mean, they're kind of eating into our profits, to be honest. Not really sure if it's that crazy, but the vehicle upkeep is also insane. So the question is really, how do we further work here? I see about like 3 ways that we can go in this. On the one hand side, we just save money, we try and take over other companies. That will take a while of me just fast forwarding the game though, and I'm not really sure that that is that easily possible, given our cash flow. It's crazy that we're prospering now with the cash flow, because I mean, I guess we're just saving up money like no tomorrow. The other option, well, the second option being, we go into yet another product line, which I think there's an option or 2 for, which would then also entail that we pay the money straight up just to go and upgrade Panowitz. That is, though, another 4.2 mil or something that we just pay, and I'm not even sure it goes into our stock value in the end, because technically, you know, it's Panowitz, it's not us that we're upgrading, so not too sure about that. We would get another store, we could go and sell out some more stuff, and, you know, get some more product lines going through the tech tree. Third option being, we find any way to lower our vehicle upkeep costs, because I do feel that really we do have quite the hefty price that we're paying here. Now the question may be, first things first, being on the vehicle cost topic, if there is anything in terms of the destinations that we have not really used yet. I mean, on the one hand side, like this stuff here, going all the way to the Kochsfeld Farmers Market just by truck, I guess is not ideal. And I'm never really sure what is ideal in the end, you know? It's not like the game, and this is really where I'm missing a lot of the information. It is not like the game is giving us any level of indication just how much one of these vehicles cost per what sort of period. You know, even the icons flying up from the vehicles, you don't really know if they're all costing, like how much they're all costing over which period. So, you know, maybe the Zeppelins are super cheap, maybe going from, you know, truck to Zeppelin to go from here to Kochsfeld to save money is the worst idea in the world. I would not be able to tell. So, you know, it's kind of hard to optimize something where you don't really have any idea of how you could optimize it. We are using a lot of the train, though, here for this Warehouse 1, and we are using the Zeppelin for Warehouse 5 here, because we don't really have an option if we do want to keep traffic at least somewhat manageable. Then we've got this, for which we're literally just using trucks, which is suboptimal, to say the least, I guess. But I'm also really not sure about the Zeppelin part. So, I mean, this is maybe something we can have a quick look at just to see, like, how much of a... Let's just try that. Let's go to 1x speed. Try and see when the little cost icons... So, this is 9.86k. But in the meanwhile, the Zeppelin didn't cost anything. The Zeppelins are going across. Can't see them costing a thing. Still not seeing them costing... Do they not cost anything at all, maybe? I think it just had a 9.86k there as well. And I mean, in the end, that was 16.25k now. How am I supposed to gauge how much what costs? Not even the things flying up there do seem to be the same. And that one was 9.86k again. But it always only really flops up on the Zeppelin hangar itself. Not on the Zeppelins. So this is an interesting point. Do Zeppelins and trains maybe not cost anything at all? And it's only the trucks that actually cost me money? Because in that case, you know, we could just get Zeppelins fields and stuff going and get a lot of the interregional transport covered that way. Have a good bunch less trucks on the streets, except for when we need to go to factories and warehouses. And save a good bunch of money. Because that would honestly be a lot of cost-saving potential. I mean, if we look at our P&L right here, that was like 630k vehicle upkeep. I mean, if we go and optimize that, we could probably cut that by 200k a month, which, you know, would probably require an upfront investment of maybe 1.5 mil or something. But within a few months, we would definitely get that back. So that could be an option just to optimize the profitability. The other thing being, in terms of the optimization, of course, if there is any sort of improvement possibilities here in terms of the costs. So the salary stuff, I guess we're not that mega interested in currently. The train capacity could be cool. Train speed as well. Speed capacity of Zeppelins is quite freaking expensive, I have to say. Boats we're not interested in. Intriguing, the train part, to be honest. But I'm not sure how badly we need that. In terms of the, warehouse efficiency we don't really need. And the truck capacity we've already upgraded in order to save some costs, so that is not an option. Then in terms of traffic, urban road speed is nice. Real nice. Freaking 1.8 million bucks, like, jeez. Not really feeling like paying that, to be honest. So the question is there anything available in terms of the costs here? It doesn't tell. Is there any information we can get here in terms of the modules? It doesn't really tell anything in terms of the costs, does it? It's just how you get things working, but that is it. Advanced. Budget overview. Products. Nope. It does not tell us anything. So honestly, that is like the important part, and I am really not sure. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to place a quick cut, and I'm going to research this online, because I think we really need to find out about this. Because if we can really make a big change here in terms of the vehicle upkeep, this is one of our biggest cost points on the list. So if we can reduce our logistics cost, would be beautiful. So give me a quick second, and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so I'm back, and I've got some very interesting insights from the wiki on Rise of Industries. Now, as I had kind of expected and feared, honestly, Zeppelins are pretty frigging expensive ways of transport. So, while we maybe don't really have that much of a choice in terms of using them here, because we kind of just placed things badly, honestly, generally using Zeppelins is kind of pretty expensive, and you do want to abstain from it. So maybe if we can do some sort of optimization work here in the future, we do snake the railroads a little more along here, we could go and set the second railroad depot up right here, get it all the way down there to another railroad depot here, and instead service the warehouse here this way, because frankly just feels like the better option to me in terms of costs. And the other point is, trains are so much cheaper than trucks. Literally like half the price per tile that they move. On top of that, there is also the two different kinds of trucks. There is the trade trucks and there is destination trucks. Trade trucks having the difference of being able to move 3 units inside them as opposed to the usual 1 that you do get in the destination trucks, as you can see with this one right here. See, these here, we're all just using 1. Those are the ones that we usually, for example, have going into the factories, and that also is why the one thing that we researched right here, which was the... Where is it at now? I'm not quite sure. Which was this, the truck capacity was totally useless. Because it was the trucks going between warehouses that are, well, I mean, I guess it's maybe not totally useless because we do have some inter-warehouse exchanges, but overall it's only the trucks going between warehouses that get more capacity that way. All the standard ones here, as you can see, aren't carrying more than 1 unit. Now, the 1 unit trucks are technically cheaper per tile, but where it gets interesting is if you move multiple units per truck, because at that point in time, you just save tons and tons and tons of money. And now if you look down here, we're using the non-warehouse trucks to deliver down to Kochsfeld, which is an absolutely terrible choice. Because you could be saving so much money by setting up a warehouse in Kochsfeld and just moving 3 unit trucks there instead of the 1 unit trucks. On top of that, you know, we would probably also save out on a bit of traffic. So that is probably the plan there. Because honestly, the only thing that we are selling in Kochsfeld currently is that meat. So as much as I would love to set up a railroad, you do also have to keep in mind that that has a lot of upfront costs in terms of setup, both for the train depots and for the track that we have set up. While on the other hand side, you know, the switch to the trucks is really just building 1 warehouse, which does cost money. But if we look right here, it's only 150k, which is a lot cheaper than like 450 for the terminal, plus like probably another 50 maybe for the tracks or something. Well, 2 times 450 because we do need 2 terminals. So honestly, and we do still need the new warehouse at the same time. So we could just do something like that, slap the warehouse bang in the middle of Kochsfeld, have a warehouse going, the warehouse sells out to the farmers market for us, and we change the destination rather of warehouse 2 to the warehouse itself. And that's that. And that way, we only move 3 at a time. Now, the interesting point being, waiting till full. This is another point that we then want to use, so that the trucks always get filled to the brink, don't just go at 1 unit, and are as money efficient as possible. Because honestly, if we sell off every unit every second that we get it, or if we sell it off like maybe a few days later, we don't really care. We get to sell the unit anyway, so who cares, right? This way, we get that delivered down there to Kochsfeld. I'm just checking that we're not moving anything else, but that's fine. And then we can go to Warehouse 7, and we go and, well, I mean, we do technically have it as an outgoing product, so we don't really even need to define anything. And here then, yeah, sure, we use the 1 unit trucks just to do the final sale, but that's literally just for such a short distance and so much more efficient in terms of money. And on top of that, we save out on a good bunch of traffic right here, because for every 3 trucks that we did used to need in this warehouse, we only need 1. Which, in fact, let me maybe double check that in terms of the vehicle. I'm not actually entirely sure. That is something that the wiki doesn't tell me. Whether you, well, the +1 upgrade to the capacity means that we can carry 4 instead of 3, or 3 instead of 2. So we'll have to see, but one way or another, nice and efficient. The other thing that I'm seeing here is we're already also delivering out to web arms, which, actually, intriguing question, do we need to deliver out to 2? Got 6 per 15 days here. I'm not quite sure how much we're making, really. Livestock farms, production, 3 per 30 days, 6 per 30 days, 9... That's cows as well, right? Yeah. Then we've got this, so that's 12. And that is sheep. So technically we could only go to 1 destination, no? The question is, does that work, or will we have things just piling up for us? Kind of looks like it, to be honest. Which means that we could have probably just saved ourselves that warehouse and only gone to Webams, because we already have one there. But it kind of is what it is now. I mean, technically, I suppose we can still go to both, because it doesn't really make a difference in terms of money. But we are going to go and change... No, wait, stop. Ew. Now the entire thing is gone. Come on, go away. But yeah, I mean, at least the destination, we're definitely going to go and change to Warehouse 6. And could technically go by train? which is weird, because you don't really have a train connection there. But we're going to go, and, ew. Well, that's fine. It's fine in terms of the destination here. So we're just going to go to livestock and beef and choose a destination, pick the farmer's market, and that is that. The one thing that I am not sure if I forgot, yes, wait until full. Beautiful. So that is that setup. That should already start saving us some money. And we can kind of pretty much continue like that. Now, the same deal, honestly, when going to Warehouse 1 here. All the connections that are directly going to Warehouse 1, we can technically always ask them to wait until full. Which is maybe initially going to be a bit troubling in terms of the supply chain, but it should overall keep it fine, which means we're sending less trains that are not, well, we're sending no trains anymore that are not full, which ups our efficiency on the logistics cost of the stuff that we are moving. And should hopefully be nice and fine. The one thing that I'm absolutely not understanding is why we're still sending wheat to the Panowitz farmers market like this. Makes no sense to me, to be honest. So, I mean, see, that one's a bit annoying again, right? Because technically, I guess we can just go make this to Warehouse 5, so it's going to be the big trucks. And then, you know, Warehouse 5 can just do... We're not going to go change it to Zeppelin, because honestly, Zeppelin is just so expensive. I think it's like 5 times, maybe, the average cost. I don't quite remember the costs, but it is insane what the cost difference per unit is. And now what we will hopefully start seeing is that at some point here, we will have some, well, not some units, but some trucks going out that actually have more than one unit on them. I would hope. Still waiting, but technically should be happening. Let's maybe get this to only 3 times speed so we can somehow keep tracks of the trucks as well. And there goes a 3 beef unit truck to Panowitz, which would save us honestly. I mean, given the distance, an absurd amount of money. An absolutely absurd amount of money. So really, really liking that. I think we're going to continue here in the next episode. Maybe we're going to just totally scrap the Zeppelins just to, you know, be more money efficient and go to the trading trucks. Maybe we'll stay with the Zeppelins just in the interest of traffic. We will have to see about that part. But generally, I think there's some optimizations to make here. And we do also have Warehouse 4, which is sending some things then directly to Farmer's Market instead of to Warehouse. So we do need to definitely fix that too. So we're going to work on that and all other logistical inefficiencies, I think, in the next episode, which should hopefully save us a little more money in the P&L and make us earn even more, which we're already at 6.6 mil. So I'm really, really happy about the amount of money we're making. And maybe, just maybe, we will go at the start of the next episode and just do a little test buy of one of these stocks just to see how much that is going to make the stock price jump, because I would really be interested just how close we are to potentially being able to scoop up Waterworth, which would be beautiful. So let's see, let's stay on track right there. I think that's the plan for the time being, and we'll continue on that in the next episode, and then we see, you know, if we just venture out into some new areas of business, or if we do actually go for Waterworth, because I'm really still quite tempted, and we're making more and more money at an ever-increasing pace. So let's see just how well we can make that happen, and then, you know, if we do get a great PR offer in the meanwhile for like some building discount, we are going to go for that one instead. But let's see about all that and more in the next episodes. Then for today, I'm going to end this off right here. Hope you all very much enjoyed it. As usual, if you did, please make sure to smash that like button right down below for the YouTube algorithm. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also please consider subscribing right down below, as well as hitting that bell icon in order to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. But with all that out of the way then, as usual everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will catch you in the next episode very, very soon. Ciao.